Welcome to Coffee and Conversations for Men, a podcast where two men, Jay Guy
and Brian Jones,
sit down to share their stories of struggles, successes, and everything in between as they navigate the ups and downs of life.
Each episode will dive into topics men are curious about as it relates to their fitness, nutrition, relationships, mental health, and being a lifelong learner. If you're looking for real talk, honest discussions, and practical advice, you're in the right place.
So grab your coffee
Or your favorite drink.
and sit back and join us for some candid conversations that will inspire, motivate, and remind you that you are not alone on this journey. So let's get started. Well, Brian,
What a year.
what a year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When you asked me a year ago that you're looking for a co-host, and I thought, I don't know. I mean, I'm retired. I don't want this full-time job. It's not going to be full-time, once a month.
Yeah.
Here we are, 14 episodes in for this 2025.
It sure
Congratulations.
feels full time. It really does. It's like in a good way. It's not a bad way, but yeah, it's honestly, I never dreamed this.
No.
I never
No.
imagined. I know. Okay, let me rephrase this. I remember saying to you, if one person listens, great.
Yeah.
If nobody listens,
It's for us.
Great.
It's no different than our mentoring
Yeah.
sessions we used to have.
It's right, and
Yeah.
that's really what it was. And it was just because we love doing these coffee sessions with each other, and some months were hit and miss where we were, we'd have to cancel out because life gets in the way, blah blah blah. But it was a real way to like really solidify things, and it was a real healthy way for us to do this and map out some therapy stuff and really make some changes in my mental state and in my emotional state and really see where that takes me. And that was the whole idea.
Right.
And oh my God.
I know. And we put an episode, and then within 24 hours, we get a text from Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, the UK. And you out of politeness, your buddies and your family, you know what? They're going to be supportive. Because it's us. But you've at a different level when people who have no idea who Jay and Brian are, and that have found the podcast and are listening faithfully. The one day, the timer I had it come out, I think it was the 2nd of the month. And I got emails like, did I miss something? And I said, no, it's coming out. It's just in the editing process. It's going to be out there soon.
Yeah, it was a day late.
Oh my gosh. But that's good.
That's good. And honestly, I really do appreciate the support of those,
my goodness,
of those family and friends that are,
and our spouses.
Yeah, absolutely. That are constantly showing us support. But yeah, right. There's nothing like getting a message from somebody you don't know saying, wow, great job. What a great episode.
And our coffees. We're getting coffee sent to us.
That was unexpected.
Unexpected.
That was really unexpected, but really truly appreciated.
Good. All right. Well, let's do a quick recap, just a recap for people who have not tuned into all the episodes. And we're not going to go through them.
Okay.
We just want to do a quick summary that's there. So our very first episode, More Than Muscle, the missing piece of men's health, which was finding balance. So we spent the whole episode talking about our 5 pillars, but how that related to finding balance in our own lives.
And it was the OG episode that started it all. Finding balance. And you know what? It was a great place to start for me at that point in my life. Looking to find some balance for myself. And so it seemed fitting that that's where we started.
And that's where your lunches were Picasso came from.
Man, did we ever get a lot of messages regarding my lunches?
And I talked about balance and out of alignment with my family. And my career took precedence over that. And I had lots of shame and regret for that. So we covered that in that episode.
I talked about hiding in the gym.
Oh my gosh.
It was,
from your demons.
I feel like that was the first time I openly talked about hiding in the gym.
And lots of self-sabotage that was going on inside your head.
That's right.
You were dealing with a lot of shit.
Yeah, I sure was.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, yin and yang for me, it was really key. And I talked about my tattoo that I have that has that symbol, finding the light in the darkness. And when I'm stressed and anxious, I make some poor choices. And again, some regretful choices there. Yeah. So that was a powerful episode to start and launch.
Yeah.
And it is the most popular episode right now. If we go into our data from Spotify, that's the most listened to. Wow. One right now from Spotify and Apple. So in our second episode, we talked about discipline, and we called it From Stuck to Unstoppable, the discipline blueprint for men.
And I talked about designing my workouts on my phone ahead of time and doing that with intention and being aware of what I was doing before I actually got into the gym.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's discipline.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about your fitness equipment and having it in your basement and pre-planning your workouts before your workouts actually began and tracking your exercises along the way.
Yeah. And you certainly mentioned in the mental health section about daily affirmations, keeping the chatter down, the self-help books, hitting the gym, hitting the books, checking on people. And for me, just focusing on that self-care, with my wife, it's my time, her time, and our time to make sure we're really disciplined, to make sure date night happens, but also self-care happens.
Yeah,
too.
That's right.
And that's key.
Yeah. I talked about marriage isn't a 50-50, it's 100-100.
Yeah.
I talked about it may look fine on the outside, but on the inside, it could be an absolute mess.
Yeah. And that's when I learned a lot more from you about learn the love language that you need with your partner. And for me, it's scheduling regular check-ins, see where we are and what we need to do next. So
I talked about not being okay with change.
Yeah, you hate change. Holy shit. I don't know if we're not, you can't see where we're sitting, but we sit in the same freaking chairs on the same side for every single episode. I should mess with his head.
My good side. This is my good side.
Yeah. Face for radio. Remember that?
Face for radio. Oh my God. A face for radio.
And I talked about in that episode the importance of unlearning things, that sometimes you're conditioned to think a certain way, and just to take a step back and challenge that thinking and say, okay, is there other ways, other perspectives, other ways to think through this? Yeah. So that was a good episode that we getting a lot of feedback from, which is great.
And I feel like, there was one quote that really stands out from that episode that was, discipline takes over where motivation is nowhere to be found. Yeah. I remember getting a lot of feedback on just that quote. And I honestly, that it stands true today. Episode 3, we talked about insecurities.
Did we ever? Behind the mask.
Behind the mask.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I feel like that was a pretty tough one.
Well, we had to admit a lot of things that we're really uncomfortable with. Me and my imposter syndrome, trying to have this public image out front, and making the volleyball team, to find out I only made it because I was told that my parents could drive other team members to schools. And you admitted your dyslexia in that episode.
That's right. I did. Yeah. That was actually quite hard. That was actually a real personal piece of me that I gave away there. But you know what? It is what it is. Yeah. And it hasn't held me back from living life, and so be it.
Yeah. We haven't talked about this, the diabetic. You admitted because your glucose was so high, and what happened there. But you know what? In our upcoming episode, 2026, we're talking about men's health. So maybe you'll bring that back.
I will bring it back around in that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But that was Insecurities. We talked a lot about things that were going on in our own personal lives.
Yeah.
Being the smallest in your class, and getting sent to a different high school than all your friends.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's where I went, met my best friend at that high school. And, I actually want to circle back to the fitness part of that episode, because in that episode, it is absolutely hilarious for me when you talked about going to the gym for the first time and learning how to use equipment and not knowing how to use equipment
and sitting on the machine backwards.
And you were like, I don't have a freaking clue how to use this thing. I absolutely love that you were vulnerable enough to say, I don't know how to use this.
There was a lot
thing.
of vulnerability in that episode for sure.
And it did make you insecure about the gym, but you powered through and you kept going.
I did.
Yeah.
Good.
It was
it was a fun episode.
It was a fun episode, but we both dug deep.
Yeah.
And we talked about a lot of things that brought on some insecurity. And you know what? We're able to look back at that episode and find humor and laugh at, a lot of the pieces of it.
Episode 4 was permission to say no, people pleasing, setting boundaries. And we covered a lot in that episode too.
Yeah, we sure did. I remember talking about working out with a buddy from work and working out his way. And I absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
And I remember talking about that, and I could feel the emotions in that episode. And I really did hate working out that way.
That's when I had my injury, the box jump.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
And I was out of commission because I was trying to show off.
Yeah.
My ego got in the way, people pleasing,
That's
and
right.
I tried to jump in the gym and I fell right back on my tailbone, and I was out. Oh, that's the one you talked about, peanut butter waffles.
Oh my God,
because you were eating every 2 hours.
Oh my God,
to gain muscle.
Oh my God, eat big to lift big. Oh my God, yeah. And again, I hated it.
Yeah,
I absolutely hated it.
And I wanted to be the fun parent.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like conflict with my daughters when I was at the grocery store, and in the morning, like when they're just like, let's just get over.
Yeah, throw that in the cart.
Yeah,
throw that in the cart.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
And I talked about being a people pleaser at a young age, wanting to fit in.
Yeah.
Wanting to be liked, and then I talked about work J versus real J, and the sides of you that people get.
That was also the episode we recommended highly, the book, the Gifts of Imperfection.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
And that was a powerful one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But people pleasing, lots of guys. We got some really good feedback from that one. From guys who are struggling with not disappointing other people.
Yeah, that was one of those episodes where people can really relate to that subject. And I had a quote in that episode. Actually, it says, "What you permit, you promote," and that was one of the quotes that really got a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. It really did. I got a lot of messages from that quote, and I didn't know it at the time when I was writing my show notes, but it's totally true.
Sure.
Yeah.
We also talked about a volunteer burnout, that I was overloaded with volunteering because I didn't want to disappoint. Yeah. And I'll do it. Sure, I'll do it. No problem. Good. Give it to me. I'll do it.
Just overextending yourself.
Overextended yourself.
Yeah.
So
learning that no is a full sentence.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's that episode as well.
So if you're struggling with learning to say no, tune in to episode 4.
Yeah. People pleasing is no joke. Brian, episode 5 was on behavior. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh, and there was some ugly.
There was some ugly.
Some vulnerability shared in that one. Oh my God.
There was a lot of ugly.
Yeah, after that one, my wife heard it, because we always let our spouses hear it before it airs. And she said, "You're going to admit that?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah.
So, we covered a lot in that one too.
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked about, some positive behaviors that I had through working out and through connection with my daughters in the gym and going rock climbing. And those really, how they put me in a really positive headspace. Right.
Yeah. But you also talked about some bad behavior because of some of the ADHD you have, and that you're just all over the map.
That's right. I did.
And that led to some confusion and some miscommunication, some missteps in your career because you were all over the place.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you talked about poor eating choices and craving sweets, which I did not know.
Oh my gosh.
I did not know that you had a sweet tooth.
I binge.
Yeah.
I absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the episode where it's I'm fine. We talked about the definition.
That's right.
When someone says, "How are you?"
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I was the king of I'm fine. Yeah, that was that. Yeah. Self-sabotage.
Yeah. And I found, when I neglect my mental health, my emotional well-being, and if I ignore it, then it really leads to some ugly behavior that I'm not proud of.
Yeah. I made note, I acknowledged that I was quite grateful for my wife's patience with me and that she loves me despite all my ugliness.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm
good.
that I
You're
was grateful
pretty
for that.
lucky that's there.
Oh God, yeah.
And what we highlighted the importance of having more than one mentor,
Mm.
right? You could have a career mentor, you have a life transition mentor, you could have a fitness mentor, you have a nutrition mentor. All of these are experts that you can that can help you through things that you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So that was key.
And one of the things that I was learning how to deal with was trying to learn that it was okay to say sorry.
Yeah, I didn't realize how it was so tough for you.
Yeah, it's one of those triggers from childhood that
Yeah.
learning how to say sorry instead of just running away and feeling like you failed or you're bad or you're in trouble. Episode 6 happened to take place in June, and we called it Father Figures, Real Role Models for Real Life. And we had lots of advice and lots of stories about us being dads and role models. And I talked about my dad being my biggest cheerleader when it came to running track. And he knew my times, he knew the meets, he knew the kids, and he ran with me with his busted up knees and all. Yeah, I was proud of that moment in that episode.
Well, the 5 influential guys have their signatures on the back of my calf. My
That's
dad,
right.
my grandpa, my great grandpa, my great grandpa, my great grandpa. Those authentic signatures are tattooed right there because I carry their DNA.
That was
really
fascinating to hear your story.
To me. You gave a lot of advice in that episode to dads, and based on your experience of helping guys get off meds and to lead a healthier life, unlike me, who was the ravioli fishy cracker dad who made lunches that way. But I got better over the years. For sure.
Yeah, I was quite shocked to hear the fishy crackers.
Yeah, a lot came out. A lot came out.
Yeah. We also talked about playing. We've also talked about playtime.
Oh yeah,
with
instead
your
of
kids.
supervising.
Instead of supervising,
Yeah.
what does that look like? Are you sitting on the park bench scrolling on your phone when your kids play, or are you actually getting in there with them? And I can proudly say with no regrets that I'm a big fan of grounders, and I have played my many fair share of grounders with the kids at the park, and other kids asking, can they come in and join us? And no regrets. I got zero regrets.
Good.
And then we had episode 7 was our bonus episode with Justin Brothers.
Yeah, our first guest.
First guest.
We had to work out the technology bit.
We sure did.
But
he was the founder of Healthy at Home 905.
Yeah, very smart entrepreneur guy.
Yeah, very, and knows his nutrition.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to him on that episode. Brian, in episode 8, called Finding Your Tribe, Your Allies for Men.
And this was one that came out of a need. Questions were coming in about, of loneliness. And
that's right.
And we, we concluded, you can't just sit at home and wait for someone to knock at your door.
Yeah.
You got to go out and find your tribe.
Find your tribe.
Because there's other guys out there that you'll connect with.
Yeah, that's
that you could build a friendship with.
Yeah, that's right.
And we talked about that, being at the gym or being involved in physical adventures, or brotherhoods or men's group.
Yeah, I talked about meeting one of my lifelong friends on working on the loading docks.
That's the one you brought home to your wife, right?
Yep. And she was 8.5 months pregnant, and I made a play date. That could have ended badly, but thankfully it went well.
You're a good friend now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that's right. And I talked about the Men Mentoring Men network that I'm part of, overseeing fatherhood and life transition, supporting other men, just starting up conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not looking at lifelong buddies. You're just looking to be friendly and an acquaintance.
Yeah.
And it might turn into a lifetime friend.
Yeah.
But you learn a lot about people that way just by asking some questions
and
sharing information.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just never know where the connection is going to be made. And I remember talking about that in that episode. You just don't know when you're making a connection like that.
And you also were a little vulnerable about talking about some wrong tribes that you were part of.
Yeah. I definitely found a wrong tribe for a while. I definitely did.
Well, I'm pleased that you are here now.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Yeah.
Because guys will stick around if they feel valued, heard, acknowledged, and appreciated.
Mhm.
So if you can make them feel welcomed,
Mhm.
then chances are, you know what, they'll stick around.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you find your tribe, when you find your right tribe, you know it instantly.
Yeah.
You just know
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There's
But
just
you also know when the one's not yours.
well, yeah, yes, and yes, you do, and sometimes you stay too long.
If you want more detail on that one, check out episode 8. Our episode 9 was a bonus episode, and it was by the author of Good Brain, Bad Brain.
Yeah,
and
Mr. Sparvell.
Yeah, we interviewed Mark, and who works with Microsoft. Powerful episode there. It was a bonus episode we put in after the interview that we did with him.
Yeah, I remember how excited I was for that
yeah.
episode. I remember leading up to that. I just kept talking about it, and I kept saying, I remember I kept saying to my kids, like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited for this!"
Yeah.
Like this guy's a brain.
I know.
Like he knows everything about how the brain works, and I can't wait to ask him questions about why I do what I do and how come some things do this.
His book sits on my desk, and I'll just open it to a random page because you could. There's standalone pages that will give you strategies.
That's right.
So it's powerful.
Yeah.
Episode 10, turning failure into fuel and rejection into resets.
Yeah, that was a powerful episode.
Oh my gosh, because we were vulnerable and talked about some of the things that we had failed at.
That's right. I talked about wanting to go to an athletic school back when I was a kid in my area, and my grades weren't good enough, and I wasn't able to make it, and I felt like a complete failure.
And I talked about my only goal in hockey. My hockey career was on my own net.
That was actually a hilarious story. That was unfortunately aimed at yourself.
Yeah.
But that was the way you broke it down with so much compassion for yourself.
And we talked about failure in the gym.
Yeah.
That we've had too, and it's using the stories of failure as, if we unpack it and talk about, okay, so what do we need to do next? So we gave some advice there and some research behind that, and having a growth mindset. That's really important too.
Yeah, and
I loved what your daughter said. Because she is so ahead of her time.
She really is. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, she really, oh my God, is she ever? She's brilliant. And, she said, "Dad, I wish the world would normalize therapy."
Yeah.
And it just resonated right through my chest. And I was like, oh my God, kid.
Got a bad rap of a psychiatrist and a couch or something.
Laying down.
But
Yeah.
So powerful.
And I remember talking about retelling your failure story over and over again.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to tell it over and over again because it's your way of unpacking.
It is.
And I, along the way, I discovered that through therapy, I discovered that sometimes is the way that you learn how to heal is by telling that failure story.
And we talked about that. Yes, we put out an episode, but there's a lot of hours that are not aired, not recorded.
Yeah.
That I'm just giving you space. You're giving me space to talk.
And we're airing it out
I know.
without being on air.
Yeah.
Episode 11 was on purpose. It was, if your identity isn't your paycheck, where do you find your identity?
Yeah.
And that was a big question.
A lot of guys are tied their identity to their work.
Yeah. And we were trying to discover who we are outside of work through that episode.
And I got really, I described the whole identity crisis I went through when I retired. I didn't know who Brian was anymore. And that was a huge struggle because I had a sunset date.
That's right. And I remember talking about my identity at work and being known for my recipes and the kids coming to my office door and asking me what I'm cooking and that was established very early on in my career.
And you had a great story that talked about your dad in that episode.
Yeah.
Where he defaults to saying, not bad for a bus driver.
Bad for a bus driver.
But he's brilliant.
He's truly brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really is a brilliant, self-taught too.
Yeah, really.
A lot of who he is self-taught. Yeah, truly brilliant. And this default language of not bad for a bus driver. I talked about that. Yeah.
You also alluded to the fact of being a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah. And I did. And knowing full well that we don't chase identity, it evolves. Yeah. And that was one of the things that I had to learn along the way of being a square peg in a round hole, of just constantly doing the same thing over and over again and not fitting that, not being able to fit it in, was very difficult and sometimes maddening.
And adjusting to new roles that we have, because we're constantly evolving.
And you talked about tomorrows are not being promised.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
they're not.
And that was quite a reality check. Yeah. That
so you live life to the fullest with what you have.
Yeah.
Because we have no idea what tomorrow will bring.
Yeah, and like you said, live it on purpose.
Yeah.
Live with a purpose, on purpose.
Yeah.
Episode 12. Break down to break through.
The real talk about grief. We spent almost an hour dissecting that one.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
That was a tough one.
Because originally, prior to beginning this, I thought grief was happening when you lose a loved one through death. But we soon realized that grieving happens whenever there's a loss of something. Could be a job, could be a friendship. It could be just a change in your relationship. There's a whole grieving process you go through.
Yeah, and I too just thought it was just a loved one at the beginning of this research, and I was quite surprised to find that I was wrong. Yeah, and there was so many levels of grieving that we do and that we don't even acknowledge that it's a grieving process.
And I worked through just this unprocessed trauma that was rewiring my brain, and I was suppressing grief.
Yeah, and I talked about falling short of a job promotion.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
Did you ever?
Yeah, I opened up about, feeling like I fell short and grieving that failure.
Yeah. And you had a wonderful moment of talking about your grandmother in that episode. I love just giving you space.
Yeah.
And her lemon meringue pie. Just what a gem.
That she really was. Yeah, she really was. And like you said about grieving the loss of a friendship, you talked about the loss of a friendship.
Yeah.
And what that looked like for you.
But we ended the note talking about, okay, what does grief teach us? What are the lessons? What is there gifts in this? How can we turn this around to say, how can we be a better person because of what we just experienced?
There's always got to be the lesson, right?
Yeah.
And I had pointed out that crying in the car counts.
Yeah.
On so many different levels.
Gosh.
Yeah, it really does. And that's mostly because the car feels safe.
It does. Jay, episode 13, you were scared to do.
I really didn't want to.
Shit out of you.
I felt like I had no place.
So episode 13 was the financial fight that no one trained us for, where we talked for a whole hour about finance.
Yeah.
And how related that out to our 5 pillars.
And how reluctant I was.
Yeah.
To
but
say
look
yes.
I did. No,
I did. No, I really
process.
did. I learned a ton.
Come on.
No, I really did. I'm glad we did it because I learned a ton. And I made no mistake in saying that I was financially savvy at all.
Yeah.
I'm not a financial wizard.
That our wives are the
the
brains when it comes to finance.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're okay with that.
Yeah, I have no problem admitting that.
But you know what? I'm learning more about investments and about mutual funds and about just the whole financial piece that I had no idea about because we never grew up with it.
Yeah, no, not at all. I never got the this is how you budget for this. This is how you handle this. This is how you look at your mortgage or talk about your mortgage. Like none of that.
No,
none of that.
Financial management was right up there, not discussed.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah, at all. Yeah, at all. No, not at all. I never got prepped for finances at all.
So we spent a good hour. I think that was just over the hour, actually.
Yeah.
Talking about some great strategies and how it relates to our mental health and nutrition and relationships and fitness and lifelong learning.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad actually we did it.
Yeah,
when
too.
It was all
I
said
learned
and
a
done.
lot too.
Yeah, when it was all said and done, I'm really glad we ventured.
And
down
we've
that
had
road.
some good responses from around the world because we were really sensitive to make sure that we were because different cultures handle money differently.
Okay, yeah.
So we were very aware of not overstep. Some of the things that we said.
Yeah,
because we knew that we had international audience.
That's correct. Episode 14 was on addiction, and we had some guys coming out of the woodwork that wanted to be a part of this episode.
Do you remember we wanted to change their names
Yep,
and use
that's right.
voice altering pitch technology?
That's right.
So these guys could be anonymous, and then they said no.
Yeah,
we want people to know who we are because it's part of the healing process.
That's
So
right.
if we can help other guys tell our story, then yeah. And we had Justin talk about his addiction and break down, of his body and how he's gone to the gym to stay on track.
Yeah, and give him some purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had Ben's story on
powerful.
a humongous cocaine addiction.
Yeah.
That spiraled. That stemmed from an injury.
Yeah.
That he sustained playing a sport that he loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it just kind of just
and being
took over his life.
On meds that he was prescribed.
Yes.
That got out of hand.
Yeah. What a fascinating story that was.
And that led us into Zach's story, his involvement with alcohol. And he's so committed to AA right now. And I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. That was quite a reflection of somebody's life and struggle.
Yeah. And we ended that episode with Colin.
Yeah. What a tragic, tragic tale.
Oh my gosh. He talked about the two people in his life that he lost to addiction.
That's right.
And an advice for other families who are going through watching a sibling or a partner or a parent or a nephew or a niece or someone in the family that you love be addicted to something.
Yeah, he was very courageous for telling his story.
Yeah.
And
and the data we're getting from Apple and from Spotify indicates that episode is going to surpass many of the other episodes in viewer watching.
Wow.
So that's incredible.
It's a powerful episode.
Yeah.
So it's not really surprising.
No.
It's these guys were full of compassion, full of love, full of bravery.
Yeah.
And my hat's off to all of them.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising that one's getting a lot of views.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what a powerful moment.
Well, guys, that's a wrap. 2025.
Wow.
We are I'm blown away.
Yeah,
that
me too.
That the whole year is, and we've got some great things in store for 2026. So we've got an interview coming up with a bodybuilder trainer. We're doing a whole segment on men's health. We want to take a look at
some chronic stress.
Oh my gosh,
what that can look like in your life.
Yeah, and body image.
Body image is a big
whole
one.
Episode on body image.
Yeah.
In May, we're going to do something very special.
Yeah. I would like to give a little nod to the ladies in our lives.
Yeah.
The influential women in our lives. Yeah. And
in June, around Father's Day, June last year, we talked about the real fathers or male figures in our lives.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about difficult questions and answers that dads can give to kids.
Yeah, how to have conversations.
How to have conversations about some difficult topics. So we're excited about that. And the rest of the year, we're in the process of planning.
Yeah.
So we send in your ideas and we'll do some research. We'll come up with our own vulnerable stories and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But what a blast.
Absolutely.
I am so delighted that I get a chance to work with you.
Absolutely. I feel the same. I look forward to this. I really do.
So do I. This is part of our
therapy. On so many levels. Yeah, for sure. On so many levels. And as always, love to thank our listeners for constantly tuning in and just supporting what we do. We make it very clear that we are not trained professionals.
No, please don't think that.
We make it very clear that we are not. We are just two guys sorting our own shit out.
Yeah.
And you're coming along for the ride.
That's right. I love that.
That's it.
We should have a bumper sticker.
We should have it. Yeah. Just sorting my shit out.
Well, yeah. And so grab your cup of coffee or your favorite drink and join us for an upcoming episode.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you in 2026. And that wraps up today's episode of Coffee and Conversations for Men.
Thanks for spending time with us. We truly appreciate it.
Be sure to check out the show notes for resources, links, and everything we've covered today.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed this conversation, share it with a friend or leave us a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
You can follow us on Instagram at Coffee and Conversations for Men. That's 4 as in the number 4. Got a topic you'd like us to explore? Reach out and let us know.
Just a quick reminder, we're not therapists, we're not counselors, we're not licensed professionals, just 2 longtime friends sharing real stories and lessons from our own lives.
So if you're facing challenges with your health, your mental well-being, or your relationships, we encourage you to seek guidance from qualified professionals.
We hope our conversations sparked reflection, encouraged growth, and helped you feel more connected.
Until next time, this is Jay
and Brian,
reminding you to grab your coffee
or your favorite drink
and keep the conversations going. To stay strong,
stay curious,
and stay connected.